गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. We are in chapter 2, first part of the Katha Upanishad, and as in the previous chapters, what was told, the nature of the path and the way to get to it and the way how to walk that path, that had been described in the first chapter, the first chapter with the 3 parts. And now this chapter 2, Dvitiya Adhyaya, in this also there are 3 parts, and here it describes the intricacies of the inner journey, the inner way, and that what is the refinement that is required, to reach the supreme truth, the refinement that is required, that is necessary or required to reach that supreme truth. And with that, the first chapter is about the extrovertedness of the senses, and here in the Sambandha Bhashya it says, Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhottama na prakashate drishyate tvagraya buddhya iti uktam okay. The Atma, the supreme truth, the infinite reality, which is hidden behind all the bhutas. Bhut means everything is bhut only. You are also the biggest bhut. Yeah? Bhut means the ghost. Here, bhut also means the 5 elements. And why is it called a bhut? Because what is bhut? Which appears but actually is not. Similarly, the Panch Mahabhut, they appear but actually are not. So, when we look at it from relative standpoint, the entire elements are pervaded by the infinite reality, but we cannot catch the infinite reality in the 5 elements. Na prakashate drishyate tvagra buddhya iti uktam. So it is said, kaha punaha pratibandhaha agrayaya buddhehe ena tadabhavat atma na drishyata iti tad darshana karana pradarshanaartha valya arabhyate. And this, that it cannot that this Atma Tattva can be seen, perceived, can be had an experience of only by Agraya Buddhya, meaning a single pointed mind. And this was told in the verse number 1, 3, and 12 in the previous chapter. Now the question is, Kaha Punaha Pratibandha Grayaya Buddhehe. So now the question is, what is that shortcoming in the Ekagra Buddhi, in that single pointedness of the mind or the intellect? What is that obstacle because of the absence of that obstacle, or by the presence of that obstacle, or we can say, what is that shortcoming in that single pointedness, because of which we are unable to perceive the truth as the self that I am. And this is what is told. And for that, now, therefore, to show the what do you call, one moment, one moment. So we are now starting this Valli, this first chapter of the first part of the second chapter, to show that Pratibandha. What is the reason for that obstacle which appears in the single pointed mind, single pointed intellect, Ekagra Buddhya, because of which Atma Darshan is not possible. We are so close yet so far. Why? That is going to be revealed here. Vijnate hi shreya pratibandhakarane tadapanayaya yatna arabdhum shakyate nanyatheti. Because when we are moving towards the good, Shreya means Preya, Shreya, Nishreya. Preyas is the lesser good. Shreya is the higher good. Nishreyas is the transcendental good. Shreya and Preya, they are opposites of each other. They are at the relative level. And because there is the relative, because they are opposites, there is mentioned the one which is beyond the opposites, which is Nishreya, which is the transcendental one. And to show that transcendental one, or you can take here the way they are looking at it is, what to be that, or to come to that, or to perceive that Shreya, that good, that absolute good, and whatever is the obstacle coming in between you and that absolute good, once you come to know the obstacle, we can remove that obstacle and and how to remove that and what is that obstacle, we tell you now, or we elucidate it now. And this verse which is going to be told is one of the very famous, oft quoted verse by many Mahatmas and repeated many times. And it is good if you will, if we also remember it. Paranchi khani vetrunat swayambhu. Paranchi khani vetrunat swayambhu. Tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. Tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. Kaschid dhira pratyagaatmanamaikshat. Kaschid dhira pratyagaatmanamaikshat. Avrutat chakshuramrutattvamichan. Avrutas chakshuramrutattvamichan. Together. Paranchi khani vetrunat swayambhu. Tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. Kaschid dhira pratyagaatmanamaikshat. Avrutas chakshuramrutattvamichan. This is the verse. So what does it say? It says, Paranchi khani vetrunat swayambhu. Paranchi means going outwards. And khani means the senses. These are the khan, these are the minds. Khan in Hindi means the mines. Iron ore mine, manganese mine, copper mine. So what are these mines? This is the form and color mine. This is the sound mine. This is the taste mine. Paranchi khani. And what is the nature of this Paranchi khani? This Paranchi khani, these senses, khani senses, they are Paranchi, meaning they are outward going by nature. We can't, that is how we were born. That is how, I should correct myself, that is how this body was born. A natural disposition to move outwards, and thus here in this statement, Paranchi khani vetrunat swayambhu. Vetrunat swayambhu, vetrunat means, it is, first we go look at Swayambhu. Swayambhu means that the Brahma, the creator, he created. And why did he create the creation? Brahma means you can take Brahman, you can take Ishvara, you can take the Hiranyagarbha, Brahmaji, whichever way, it does not matter. But why did he create the creation? What is his vision when he looks at the world? You must know this now. Huh?
As a Leela, he created it, and it's nothing, it's not different to himself.
Good, that is the answer I am looking. That he is not looking at the creation as separate from itself, isn't it? Right? It is his nature to create the creation. What can he do? But what is his disposition when he looks at, if he is looking out, suppose he is looking out, he is looking at the whole cosmos, which is his own expression. Because cosmos is his body. How do you look at your body? Do you look at your body as separate to yourself? No. He also doesn't look at the whole. But there is a difference. Our approach to our body is objective, and we think we are the body. And if there's something happens to the body, we are in pain, we are disturbed, we are reactionary, we are sad. But the Creator, He is perfect. He created, that is also perfect. And He doesn't see any difference between Himself and that which is created. This vision is His, and we are divorced from that vision. What it could be like, what it would be like. See, and here it is told, Vyatrunath, and having created the creation, he cursed the senses. He what is that? Some people say he created it with defects. Some people say Vyatrunath is he cursed the senses. And by what? That their nature is going to be outwards. They cannot look inwards. See? That is their another word. He inflicted the senses to go outwards. They cannot go inwards. And therefore, every one of us, whether it is a small child or an elderly person, senior citizen, or it is a saint or a sage, everyone's senses is looking externally, moving outwards. And what do we seek when we look outwards? That is the question that is to be answered here. What do we seek? We have done few, we have done a few Upanishads now. We have done Panchadashi now. We are doing Amritanabha. What does an individual seek when he looks outwards through the senses?
Swamiji, he seeks happiness.
Good. He seeks happiness. He seeks immortality but where is he seeking? In the world. And what is the world? Finite. What is the world? Changing. What is the world? Ephemeral. And he is seeking through that which is changing the infinite happiness. Is it going to be possible for an individual we are talking? Is it going to be possible, as much as that individual, he may be the master of the whole earth, still will he be happy? See? Then it is told, Kaschid dhiraha pratyagatma tasmat parang pashin antaratman. And the senses, na antar atman. Na means not, antaratman is the inner self. And when we are sitting in the senses, looking outwards, seeking, everyone is seeking only happiness. Are we going to seek the happiness by looking outwards? Only when the senses, meaning the five senses and the mind, become introvert, then there is some possibility of bliss to be experienced. Just as in deep sleep, everything goes within, goes back to the cause. This has to be brought about consciously. Then in the second part of the first verse is told, Kaschid dhira pratyag atmanamaikshata. Kaschid dhira. And there are some uh, uh, people who are not satisfied with this world. They have worked it out. They have worked it out that the shortcoming of the extrovert world, what the senses are seeking. And what is the shortcoming? It is temporary, it is finite, it is ephemeral, it is changing, it is not constant, and whatever adjectives you want to use. And as a result, such dhira, what is this dhira? Such wise men, they turn within, having assessed the ephemerality of the empirical world, which includes this body. Don't forget that. You are interacting the outside world only through this body. And this body is also part of that world. It is not part of you. And they, deliberately, they choose not to interact with the world, not to engage with the world, and engage with the inner self within. And that will only happen when there is when one has vairagya. What is vairagya? A dissatisfaction with this world, because it has not been able to give us what we are seeking for so long. And therefore they control their senses, they control their mind, they make the mind single pointed, and come to abide, come to perceive it. And this is what is told. Now let's see what the Bhashya says. Then last part about what? Avrita chakshu amrutatvam icchan. And pratyag atma means immediate self. Aikshata means sees. And avrita chakshuhu. Avrita means the chakshuhu, here just the words eyes is taken, but it represents all the other five senses and the mind. Avruta means turned inwards. Paranchi was turned outwards. Avruta is turned inwards. And amrutatvam icchan. And why do they do this? Why do they turn their senses inward? With the desire to attain or gain immortality. Who are these people? Dhiraha, wise men. Now all that will be explained in detail. Let's see the Bhashya. परांची परागंचंती गच्छन्तीति खानी तद उपलक्षितानि श्रोत्रादीनि इंद्रियाणि खानीति उच्यन्ते. Paranchi parag. Parag means that which is outside. Not parag, it's parak. Para means that which is other. So that which is outside, in other words, Paranchi means parak, parak means gacchantiti khani, means when the senses are going outwards, tad upalakshitani, then tad shrotra dini indriyani khani iti uchyante. And all these five senses, when they are moving outwards, moving in the extroverted pursuits, then they are called as paranchi khani. तानि परांच्येव शब्दादि विषय प्रकाशनाय प्रवर्तन्ते. Kha, here it is said, the kha word shabdadi vishay prakashanaya. Here the kha word, actually the kha word means space. And this is the space for the eye. This what is in there? Empty space. What is inside the ear? Empty space. What is inside the nose? Empty space. What is inside the mouth? Empty space. See? So here it is said, and they have used the word khani because kha means holes, empty spaces, or empty space, and therefore the word khani has come about. Vishaya prakashanaya pravartante, and from there the various stimuli are illuminated, perceived. Yasmad evam swabhavikani tani vyatrunaddhim sitavavan hananam krutavan iti arthaha. These khani, these empty spaces, these senses, being extroverted, they by nature they are moving towards the sense stimuli. The ears move towards, are available to the sounds, or move seeking out the sounds. The nose is seeking out the smell, the eyes are seeking out the color and form, then the tongue is seeking out the taste, and the skin is seeking out the feeling aspect. And this way they are extrovertedly seeking their own stimuli, and they do this because that is their nature. And it is their nature. And now you have to understand, I take that statement back, that it is their nature. Why are senses extrovert? Why are senses extrovert? Here it says, यस्माद् एवं स्वाभाविकानि तानि व्यतृडद्धि सितवान् हननन् कृतवान् इति अर्थः. And because they are by nature, or not by nature, they, okay, I'll rephrase everything, I'm thinking too much. And that is, they have forgotten what is their source, and therefore they have been cursed, they have been inflicted, as we said before. उनको शाप दे दिया है. क्या शाप दे दिया है? That go, you will be extroverted. And that is what is said there. That Sitavan Hananam is inflicted, cursed. Kritavan iti, they have been cursed in such a manner. Why? Because they are extrovert. Because they have forgotten the source. That's why. Kosau, who is that person who has inflicted this upon the senses? Who is that person who has cursed these senses in this manner? Go, be extroverted. Who has cursed them? Kahasau. Swayambhuhu Parameshwaraha Swayameva Swatantraha Bhavati Sarvada na Paratantra iti. He says, who is that Swayambhu? Who is that Swayambhu? Self-created, self-existing. Who is that self-existing? You can take it as Brahman, you can take it as Ishvara, you can take it as Brahmaji, self-created. He has cursed them. He has inflicted upon them. Shap de diya. Go, be extolled. Why? They are not thinking about him. They have forgotten him. And who is this Parameshwar? Who is this Swambhu Parameshwar? It is said, where are we? Swambhu Parameshwara Swayameva Swatantraha. He is ever free. He is not dependent. Swatantra. Swatantra means what? He is independent. He is free. He is unattached. He is unidentified with anything. That is Swatantra. And why is Swatantra? Because he is Swambhu. And being Swambhu is Parama Ishvara. And whatever is Swambhu, whatever is the Parama Ishvara, the Paramatma or the Ishvara, by nature is Swatantra. He is not at the mercy of his potentiality. He is the master of his potentiality. Swameva swatantro bhavati sarvada na paratantra iti, and he is never under the control of paratantra. He is never under the control of otherness. He is never under the control of differences. Who? Parameshwar. Who is he? Swayambhu. What is his disposition? He is independent, free. Why is he free? Because he is never dependent on paratantra. Meaning, he is never under the clutches, he never gets entangled in otherness. How? Picture is forming within your mind. Tasmat paragrupan anatma bhutan shabdadin pashyati उपलब्ध्वा नान्तरात्मानम् इति अर्थः. Thus, so whenever the Paramatman or the Ishwar, when he is looking outwards, he is also looking. Brahmaji is also looking, Shivji is also looking or not looking, Vishnuji is also looking, Ishwara is also looking. But what are they looking at? We see Krishna Bhagwan eating food. We see Krishna Bhagwan being fed by Rukmini. We see Ramchandra ji collecting roots and fruits from the jungle, drinking the water of the Ganga ji. Is it the same as what you and me are drinking and eating? We get up in the morning, I need my breakfast. What is that? I need my oats with banana and sunflower seeds and pepita seeds. What will happen if you don't take it? Oh, where will I get energy from? Gone. Story over. What is the disposition of the Ishvara when he looks at the world? It is that. We already answered that. We see it, he sees it as his own self. And how do we see it? as something to be devoured. Ishvara is ever complete. He sees the creation not separate to himself, and therefore he is ever at peace with himself. Because he is ever with himself. And what about us, who are essentially not other than Ishvara, not other than the Paramatma, Brahman? Essentially, we are that. The Atma alone is Paramatma, we say that. But are we in that disposition at this moment? Are we independent? Are we Swayambhu? Do we recognize that we are self-existing? Do we recognize that we are the Parmeshwara Tattva? Do we recognize that we are the Swatantra Tattva? That we are ever infinitely independent? Or do we consider ourselves to be, I am the wife, I am the husband, I am the son, I am the father, I am the body? I have to achieve this, I have to achieve that, I have to build up my portfolio, I have to do that, I have to go to take care of my health, I have to eat this or not eat that. If that is our disposition, where are we? We are divorced from our own essential nature, isn't it? So even though essentially, here he says, so from Ishvara's point of view, he is of the nature of Paramatma, he is of the nature of Satchidanand Swarup, he is of the nature of completeness. And when he looks out, what does he see? Does he see incompleteness? Or does he see completeness? Does incompleteness will be if he sees the other. But does he see the other? Does he have a sense of otherness when he looks at the cosmos? No, he sees himself only. So inside and outside is totally integrated as one in the vision of Ishvara. And in our vision, we have forgotten the eternal principle, the eternal self, the Atmic self. And we don't have, because we have forgotten that, we don't have the eye to perceive the outside as also nothing but the expression of the self. And we dive head over heels, seeking conclusion, completeness in the outside world. See? So he keeps going on after the Bhutan, Shabdadin, Pashyat, Upalabhata. He goes after space, time. That is my time. This is auspicious time. This is auspicious space. These are auspicious words. Or if he should not have spoken to me in this manner, etc., etc. And Pashyat, he likes some things, he doesn't like some things. So he keeps moving towards what he likes, the space, time, sound, all at the various five sensory level as well as at the mental level. He keeps running after the conducive experiences and never even turns around in his senses and becomes available to the essence, to the immortality, to the eternal self that he already is. He never looks looks in. Here also, your ears are open to some external stimuli coming through Zoom. But let it be. But where are you? Are you at the ears listening to every word? Or are you sitting in the self where every word is becoming an excuse to be the consciousness that you are, because of which this word is being heard? Where are we sitting? Nantaratman antaratmanam iti artha. So he is never available to himself within. He is never available to himself within. This is the meaning. It is being told to us. The Lord of Death is telling what you call our Nachiketji, and through Nachiket he is telling us that we are so besotted with this sensory stimuli, mental stimuli, that we are never available to the inner self that we essentially are. एवं स्वभावेपि सति लोकस्य कश्चिन्नद्याः प्रतिस्रोतः प्रवर्तनमिव धीरः धीमान् विवेकी प्रत्यगात्मानं प्रत्यग्वासावात्मा चेति प्रत्यगात्मा. Here he says, even though this earthly plane, the norm is this, what we have just now said, even then, evam swabhavepi sati lokasya, that is the nature of, that is the swabhava of this plane of existence, the earthly plane of existence. Kaschin nadya, even then, just like a okay, nadyaha pratisrotah pravartanam eva dhirah, even then some dhira purush, some calm, cool, collected, some equanimous person, some person, as we said before, who has worked out that continuous involvement in the world is only breaking me into further pieces rather than making me one whole. He has sorted that out within his mind through his assessment. And he, even though this is the natural flow of the world to go outwards, the river of life is moving in that direction. The river of the senses is moving in that direction. The mind is moving in that direction. And yet he tries to pratisrotaha. He tries to turn the tide. He tries to turn the flow of the river. In that, just like a person might try to turn the direction of the river, similarly this dhira purusha, this wise person, he tries to turn the flow of the senses back towards their source. And therefore you will see in India, wherever the various rivers, whenever they turn back towards their source, naturally, or most of the places it's naturally. So Kashi, Varanasi, it is where Gangaji has started moving back towards the source. So there is a great place of worship. Uttar Kashi, again the same thing, the river goes back upwards. See, Haridwar, Rishikesh, same thing. There's a bend there, as if it goes up and then comes down. So in our culture, even that river Ganga, any place she has gone against her natural flow and moved back towards the source, that has been taken as a holy place. देखो. And what does that mean? This wise man, he has removed the senses. प्रत्येक वासव आत्मा चेति प्रत्येक आत्मा. He removes his senses from the obvious, which is the sense stimuli, and makes them introvert to seek the self and tries to see the self. And eventually, if he keeps practicing, he will. There is no, it's like, we have used this example n number of times now. It's like the wave looking at other waves and competing and comparing and fighting and loving and creating a relationship with other waves, and forgotten that it is the infinite waters or the total ocean. This is what our position is. Then what does the wave have to do? It has to stop its pursuit of giving validity to other waves, recognize that other waves are also a phenomena. They are having validity only as long as it is giving them validity. Then what should the wave do? It should look for its source. Where will it look for its source? Within itself. To go within, it has to leave the without. And the moment it goes within, it will come to be the self. See? प्रतीच्येव आत्मशब्दः रूढः लोके नान्यस्मिन्. So what is Pratyagatma? Here it is. What is Pratyagatma? Pratyagatma is that, यहाँ पे देखते हैं प्रतीच्येव आत्म शब्दः रूढ़ः लोके नान्यस्मिन्. He sees the the one who sees that which is pratyak. Pratyak means that which is present in front, that which is perceivable, and that which is the self as one. He alone knows, he alone is wise. Or in other words, the one who at the same time knows that he is the self, that he is the spirit, he is the Atman, and he understands that the entire world, and who knows the entire world. Such a person is called as Pratyagatma. Now think, how can you know the self and you can know the entire world? This is the statement here. How will you come to know that? Is it that we are going to go after every object of the world, go to every planet, go to every solar system, go to every galaxy, go to the space is expanding at an exponential rate? Will you be able to cover the whole cosmos? Will you be? So will you be ever able to come to know that which is perceived completely? Can you come to know the whole world? Can you perceive the whole world completely? No. But here it is said, the one who is the Pratyek, what is Pratyekatma? The one who knows the Atmic self, and the one who knows all the Vishayas, all the objectivity in its entirety. Such a person is Pratyekatma. Is the way outside in, or is the way inside out? We are trying to be complete by interacting with the world. Can we be ever complete? Not possible. When we are one with the self, do we need to work out the world? If the Atma is Satchidanand Swarup, Sat, existence, consciousness, bliss, and what is the world? What is the world? Existence. It is Sat. It is existence, isn't it? So if I am also existence, I have come to know. I can't go outside and meet every existence that is there and then say that I know I am. No. I come to know that I am ever existing. And I know, which is Chit. The moment the knowing and being become one, there and then the entire creation is cognized as I. It is nothing to, there is no separation. The moment the wave comes to know that I am water and I know I am water, that very moment, what is the status of the wave, the form of the wave, and the form of all the waves? What is the status? There is a sudden transformation in the vision that everything is water alone. See, this transformation comes about. This is Pratyekatma. And this is the vision of the wise, the Dhira Purusha. Why did they bring it? How did they bring it about? By making the senses introvert, making the mind introvert, and ekagra buddhi, and becoming focused on the constant principle. We'll explain again. They'll explain more of that afterwards. व्युत्पत्ति पक्षेपि तत्र एवात्म शब्दः वर्तते। यच्चाप्नोति यदा दत्ते यच्चाति विषयान् इह यच्चास्य संततो भावः तस्माद् आत्मेति कीर्त्यते। In this plane of existence, in this loka, in this plane of existence, the Atma is, when I see myself or when I interact with myself, I am. When I see you all, I see, what am I seeing? My eyes are seeing the body, but I understand there is life there, isn't it? Why go so far? Come to this body only. I know if my eyes are there, eyes do not function by themselves. The knowledge is not in the eyes. Then where is the knowledge? Knowledge is in some other power which is expressing through the eyes. If I take the eyes and keep it here in front of you in my hand, will my eyes be looking at you? Will it have vision? Or is there someone else behind the eyes who is having vision? The seer behind the eyes? Another example, if a person is dead, eyes are open, he is looking at something, the eyes are looking at something, but is there a seer there? There is no seer there. See? So, the eyes do not have the capacity or the capability to illuminate. It is the seer for whom seeing is taking place. If that principle is missing from behind the the five senses, if that principle is missing behind the mind, if that principle is missing behind the intellect cannot function, the mind cannot function, the senses cannot function. Correct? So that's immediate. So when we say that I am seeing behind with the eyes, or I am seeing, it is immediate. But you think you are the eyes, but actually you are the seer behind the eyes. I am speaking. I think I am the speech, but no, I am the speaker behind the speech. And so on. See, just as here it is telling the so the Atma, out of this Atma, out of this self, we'll take it from the totality point of view, Ishwar point of view. The Ishwar, the total self, he himself created the creation, he himself is permeating the whole creation, he himself is maintaining the whole creation, he himself is absorbing the whole creation, and yet he always is, and nothing is happening, and yet everything is happening. So he is creating the creation out of himself, he is maintaining the creation in himself as himself, and he is absorbing the creation into himself. So when we use these words that he is creating the creation out of himself, he is maintaining the creation in himself, he is absorbing the creation into himself, has anything happened? The ocean is creating the waves out of itself. The ocean is maintaining all the waves in itself. The ocean is absorbing all the waves into itself. Has anything happened? Ocean is complete. It never became less because creation took place. It didn't lose any part of itself because waves were born. It did not become more when the waves were merged back into the ocean. Ocean is ever the same. And yet the phenomena is going on. Do we have that experience at this moment? Yes, you have, but we refuse to stay there. When I bring to your attention, is it not that every day waking comes and gets it is created, maintained, then absorbed back. Then the dream appears, maintains itself for some time and gets absorbed. Don't you have that experience? Sleep also appears and then goes away. So you know, this is your total cosmos, this is your total world. Where did it come out from? It came out of you, maintained in you, and absorbed back into you. All of you are nodding within yourself, or some of the heads I am seeing nodding. But are we living like that when we are out there in the world? Are we living like that? That this whole creation was created out of me, is maintained in me, and will get absorbed in me. Are we living like that? The Dhir Purusha continuously contemplates on this. And we are pseudo Dhir Purusha. We think we are wise. We think we are wise. We are only besotted, we are only desirous of the world. We are at the mercy of the world. We are enslaved by the seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, and imagining. We are not master of our senses. Dhira Purusha has turned everything towards the source. All the faculties turn towards the source. And we have turned all our faculties towards the outside. He has turned everything towards all the faculties towards the inside. Excuse me. The Dhir Purusha or the ocean. What is the disposition of ocean towards everything that has manifested out from him? यच्चास्य संततो भावात तस्माद आत्मेति कीर्त्यते. What is the disposition of the ocean towards or what is the disposition of a wise man towards everything and everyone? Sadbhav. He doesn't see it separate from himself. We are understanding. But is that our disposition when we look at the world? Do we feel the oneness with everything and everyone in this world? Without any efforts. Do we feel the oneness? Or do we see the differences? That the lecture is coming from outside. I am in my room. Someone else is speaking to me. Or I am speaking to myself. What is your disposition? Our Swamiji has Sadbhavna trust. When we develop this vision where we see everything and everyone as the self alone, that is Sadbhavna. what will be the disposition of the ocean towards all the waves? What will be the disposition of the gold towards all the ornaments? Will it see it as a competitor? Will he compare? Sadbhav is possible only when we recognize this Atmic self. And what is the nature of Atmic self? It is permeating everything. So that self alone has become the thinker, that self alone has become the feeler, that self alone has become the seer behind the eyes, the hearer behind the ears, the taster behind the tongue, the thinker with reference to intellect. It is the one alone. Do we see, I am the same one? With reference to my husband, I am the wife, but I am the same. I am actually the self. But this is still incomplete. That with reference to the eyes, I am the seer. But eyes also I am. Eyes also I am. Just as the Paramatma alone became Ishwar and Prakriti, at our level, that Atma alone became Aham and Idam, the I thought and that thought. And no thought is possible without subject, object, and the instrument. So, where have that subject, object, and instrument? Have they come from outside? But our perception is the world was there before. No, where did all the objects in the dream come from? Did they come from outside? No, the mind, the consciousness. Mind is nothing but consciousness. The Atma, it itself bifurcated as if through its potentiality as the space, air, fire, water, earth, people, minds, birth, death, past, future, etc., etc., etc. All the variety. That variety did not appear from outside. The waves did not appear in the ocean from outside. The ocean is permeating all the waves simultaneously, not one by one. That is also very important. It's not one by one. First I'll permeate this, then I'll permeate that. First I'll create relationship with this, then I'll create relationship with that. It's not a linear progression. It's a spontaneous explosion. And that is only possible when you turn in. Then this vision is possible. So from Ishvara's point of view, he is permeating the whole creation. He is the material that out of which the whole creation is made. He is creating the creation out of himself. He is maintaining the creation in himself. He is absorbing the whole creation into himself. And our experience is exactly diametrically opposite. We think we have been popped into this creation. We see the Lord in temples. We see the Lord somewhere. We want to go on pilgrimages. We think Lord is there. We want to go to Kailash. Lord is there in Kailash. Right? Lord is in Kailash. And what about you inside? Who is you? Think. So what is Atma? Atma is not one per person. Atma word here is told, its nature is sadbhav. It feels, or its disposition is oneness with everything. And that therefore it is called as Atma. That which is one with everything. Everything is what? I just told you, the 5 elements, the people. Your mind is the Atma of the entire dream world. The body, the person that you are, is the Atma of all the roles that you are playing. Without that Atma, the roles is not possible. The whole world is present because you have got senses. Senses are there because you have mind. What mind is there because there is intellect. Intellect is there because there is life. And who are you? Life itself. You are the Atma, the conscious presence. If you come to know the conscious, come to know yourself as the conscious presence, not intellectually, by being it, this phenomena of intellect, mind and senses will continue, the world will continue. But your disposition is everything. You won't even say everything is the self. Ocean does not say all the waves are me. The ocean does not say that. We say that. Because we are observing, hey, all the waves are in the ocean. Ocean is in all the waves. What will be the disposition? We are making these words up. But if you take the position of the ocean, he will say, I am. That's it. There's nothing more to say. So also Nisargadatta Maharaj, I am that, full stop. Then what about question answer? That is all drama going on. But within himself, Am Brahmasmi. In the case of Ramana Maharishi, silence. No doubt, I am. That's it. Nothing to prove, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Because I am complete. That which is complete in this manner is called Atma. Don't take Atma as a consciousness present in me, and there is consciousness present in you, and there is consciousness present in you. So there is one Atma here, one Atma there, one Atma there. This is not Atma. Our attention must go on the continuous principle. If I say one Atma here, one Atma there, my attention is on individuality. My attention is on crystallization. My attention is not on the permeability, on the infiniteness of my nature. We can see, we can work out that the space is permeating everything, supporting everything, not affected by everything. We can say that about space when we look at it objectively, isn't it? When we come to this conclusion about ourselves, that I am that conscious space which is supporting everything, which is permeating everything, knowing everything. And how do I know everything? Silence, maunam vyakhyat prakatita parabrahma tattvam. Is space gaining anything by expanding cosmos? No. Is the space losing itself because more and more galaxies are coming? No. So many galaxies are collapsing. Is it becoming more? No. Space ever remains the same. Same way, find out within yourself what is that which ever remains the same. So here we are talking about Pratyag Atma. That Atma which knows itself, which pervades everything, has the feeling of Sadbhav, the feeling of oneness. It is not even a feeling, but it is one with everything because it is permeating everything. I have given you the example of ocean and wave. And in that disposition, there is no sense of otherness, there is no sense of differences. Such is Pratyagatma. And that you are, don't forget that. Otherwise, बहुत अच्छा idea है. You know, that I am. तम प्रत्यगात्मानं स्वं स्वभावं ऐक्षत पश्यत पश्यति इति अर्थः. The wise man who contemplates in this way eventually tam pratyagatmanam swambhava he comes to his essential nature, sees his essential nature, means he perceives himself as that. What we have just explained. Chandasi kala niyamat. Some grammar rule is being given that there is no time, therefore the word akshat is being used. Avrita chakshuhu avrutam vyavrutam chakshuhu श्रोत्रादिकम इंद्रिय जातम अशेष विषयादि यस्य स आवृत चक्षुः एवं संस्कृतः प्रत्यगात्मानं पश्यति. In what manner does he see? We forgot to read this. Katham pashyati iti uchyate. How does he see this Atma? Here it is told that Avruta Chakshuhu, Avrutam, Vyavrutam, that we just read. Avruta Chakshu, meaning that he who has introverted his senses, his indriyas, not one, all of them. And how many senses are there? 5 or 6? 6 indriyas. Seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting and thinking. And what has he done? He has made them introverted. What were there before? Paranchi, they were extroverted. This wise man has made them introverted. Meaning the natural flow of the senses. Why were they a natural flow? Why were the senses going outwards? Because they were not available to the source. See? And therefore they became, they went outwards. Avruta Jagat, he who has the entire gamut of senses, he has withdrawn them from the stimuli and brought them back, and in such a person, sa evam sanskruta pratyagatmanam pashyati, and such a sansara yukta, the one who has practiced this again and again, who has this disposition, continuous disposition, This disposition doesn't mean that you are dysfunctional in the world as a seeker. You continue in the world. It's an inner journey. Are you sitting in the senses looking outwards, or you are allowing the senses to function but you are sitting inwards? Yes, on a seat of meditation, or like going to sleep, everything then comes back, goes back to the source. So only such a person with such disposition can have the darshan of Pratyagatma or be the Pratyagatma. Nahi bahya vishayan, where are we? 106, 107. Nahi bahya vishayan, vishaya लोचन परत्वं प्रत्यगात्म ऐक्षण चैकस्य च एकस्य संभवति. Here they correct me. What I just said, they corrected. And what is that? Same person, he is available to the outside world as the names and forms and the various stimuli, and he is available to the self also at the same time. This is not possible. Because if you are one with the self, it is homogeneous mass of consciousness. There is no division. There is no differences. Remember, where are we? We are in Upanishad. What is Upanishad? Vedanta. We are not talking Sankhya Darshan. In Sankhya Darshan, one person can come to know the self and others are not knowing the self. Here we are saying everyone is essentially the self. This is not about one person. We are talking about the infinite consciousness. Are you considering yourself to be the infinite, or are you considering yourself to be individual? So here it is said, nacha nahi bahya vishayan lochana paratvam. If the senses are outwards, perceiving the differences, perceiving the stimuli, and pratyagatma aikshana, and seeing the self at the same time, cha ekasya sambhavati. Both of them together at one time is not possible. At thought level it is possible, but at the abidance level it is not possible. I'm alert about the self. I'm continuously thinking about the self. Like a mother is continuously thinking about her child who has not come back from school or is late from school, and yet doing all the things in the house. She is doing the things in the house also, but one thought is on the child also. It's at the thought level. Here we are not talking about thought level. At thought level you cannot be all pervasive. All pervasiveness is your being, is your natural disposition. That is the nature of the self. So here it is told both the things at the same time, that senses are outwards and mind is inwards. It is not possible. Or you are the self. That both at the same time is not possible. Kimartham punaritham mahata prayasena स्वभाव प्रवृत्ति निरोधम कृत्वा धीरः प्रत्यगात्मानं पश्यति इति उच्यते. Okay, so by great effort, the wise person has with great effort stopped the outward flow of the senses. He has built a dam on the senses, made them turn inwards. And is this how he turns the senses? See no evil, hear no evil, talk no evil, smell no evil, taste no evil. No, I have to do japa, 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 japa and turn my mind inside. Is it that I'm going to escape from this world, go into an ashram or go into one room and lock myself up? Is that going to bring about Pratyagatma Darshan? So is it that the wise person, Dhira Purusha, he is with great effort, he is going to control the natural flow of the senses which is outwards, he is going to stop it and turn it inwards. Is it that way? So then it is said, Amrutatvam amaranam dharmatvam nitya swabhavatam icchan atmana iti arthaha. If this is the doubt, then it is said, Amrutatva amarana dharmatva, meaning what is meant here is that he is continuously focused on the immortality of his soul. He is continuously aware or focused on the immortality. What is that? Amrutatvam, amarana dharmatvam. That this Atma is immortal, this Atma is undying Atma, amaranatvam, dharmatvam. It is the dharma, it is the source, it is because of which everything is working, or it is the source of everything, and therefore I don't need to contemplate on what is the effect or what is its expression. I am only focused on what it is, and that I am. Dharmatvam, nitya swabhavata, nitya swabhav. It is, and what is its swabhav? It is eternal. Whose swabhav? Atma swabhav. And continuously icchan, he is continuously seeking this Atma which is of this nature. Such is the Dhira Purusha. So not what you said, that is he controlling his senses. Sense control, we must do it, no doubt we must do it. But if you do it mechanically, you will get exhausted. But if you, how much efforts do you put to control your senses and make them introverted when you go to sleep? How much effort do you put? So what is the equation there? You are completely, without any doubt, seeking to surrender to sleep or be one with sleep, to be absorbed in sleep. When similar disposition is cultivated, that I am the Atma which is immortal, which is all pervasive, which is, and everything that which is nitya swabhav, etc., homogeneous, and I am that, this bhav must overtake every other bhav of the external world. What are the other bhavs? I am the son, I am the wife, I am the daughter, I am this body, I am the senses, I am this, I am that. All this has to go. We are only focused on our immortal being that we essentially are. We'll stop here and we'll look at it again next week. We have heard this so many times before. So many times this same thought has come. Don't be extroverted, be introverted. Yet here, how beautifully, again, all the scriptures are talking the same only. But how wonderful. So contemplate on this for the week and come back. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. Sit quietly for a few moments. Hari Om.